the one where Joey becomes a star. The big break. It happened during Season 5, when Joey least expected it. After years of embarrassing commercials, bit parts, and the notorious Ichiban, lipstick for men posters in Japan, Joey Tribbiani finally caught his big break. A famous director spotted him during a small guest role on Law and Order, and was captivated by his raw talent and undeniable charisma. Within weeks, Joey was cast as the charming yet complex lead in Manhattan Midnight, a gritty crime drama set in New York City. The gang celebrated in Central Perk, with Chandler proudly draping his arm around his best friend's shoulders. None of them, especially Joey, had any idea how this single role would transform their lives forever. Monica prepared a feast, Rachel bought him a new tie for interviews, Phoebe wrote a special celebratory song, and Ross repeatedly reminded everyone that he had always believed in Joey. Chandler simply watched his roommate with pride, making occasional jokes about finally getting all the rent paid on time. Rising star. Manhattan Midnight premiered to critical acclaim, with Joey's performance singled out as revelatory and star-making. Overnight, Joey Tribbiani transformed from a struggling actor into Hollywood's newest obsession. The phone in apartment 19 rang constantly with offers, and Joey's agent, who had barely returned his calls before, now contacted him multiple times daily. As Joey's star rose, his time in New York diminished. The empty chair at the Central Perk sofa became a regular sight. His small table at their favorite coffee shop remained vacant during their usual hangouts. At first, his absence was punctuated by exciting phone calls from exotic filming locations, detailed stories about A-list co-stars, and extravagant gifts sent from around the world. Chandler found himself alone in their apartment more frequently, surrounded by the dinosaur figures and foosball table that once anchored their shared life. He maintained the pizza ordering schedule and kept Joey's favorite beer in the fridge, just in case. The apartment felt cavernous without Joey's boisterous presence, auditions, and constant raids of their refrigerator. The changes. 4 months into Joey's meteoric rise, he returned to New York for a brief visit. The familiar face that bounded through the apartment door wasn't quite the same Joey they knew. Designer clothes had replaced his comfortable jeans and t-shirts. An entourage waited downstairs. His stories were peppered with celebrity names and exclusive events instead of audition mishaps and pizza anecdotes. Chandler noticed the subtle changes in his best friend the most. Joey checked his phone constantly, spoke in soundbites, and referenced his new friends in Los Angeles with increasing frequency. When they gathered at Monica's apartment, Joey spent more time taking calls in the hallway than connecting with the group. Chandler's jokes were met with polite chuckles rather than the infectious laughter that had once filled their apartment. Eventually, Joey announced he was permanently moving to Los Angeles. The news hit Chandler the hardest, though he masked his hurt with sarcasm and deflection. The night before Joey left, Chandler sat alone in his recliner, staring at the empty chair across from him, wondering if their friendship could survive the seismic shift of Joey's newfound fame. The distance. As months passed, Joey's career skyrocketed. His face graced magazine covers, talk shows fought for exclusive interviews, and paparazzi documented his every move. Back in New York, the group watched their friend's transformation through screens and tabloids. They cheered his successes but couldn't help noticing the growing distance. Chandler took it especially hard. He still watched every interview, saved magazines featuring Joey, and defended him fiercely when critics emerged. But privately, he mourned the loss of their friendship. The late-night talks, impromptu foosball tournaments, and shared meals had been replaced by occasional text messages and brief, scheduled calls that felt more like publicity obligations than genuine connection. The distance wasn't just physical. When Joey visited New York for a premiere, he booked a suite at the Plaza instead of staying at his old apartment. His visits to Central Perk became photo opportunities rather than relaxed hangouts. The once inseparable friends now moved in different orbits, with Joey's world expanding while Chandler felt increasingly left behind. The wake-up call. The turning point came unexpectedly. After winning a prestigious award for his third major film, Joey stood on stage in front of Hollywood's elite, the golden statue heavy in his hand. As he scanned the cheering crowd, he realized he didn't recognize a single face. The people applauding weren't friends who had suffered through his Freud musical or celebrated his first callback. They were strangers who loved his fame, not him. That same night, Joey saw a tabloid photo of himself looking polished and sophisticated at a Hollywood party. The caption read, "Joey Tribbiani, from soap star to superstar, how he left his old life behind. The words hit him with unexpected force. Later in his hotel suite, surrounded by luxury but profoundly alone, Joey found himself watching old episodes of Mac and CSE on his laptop, smiling at memories of watching it with Chandler. Meanwhile, in New York, the group gathered for Thanksgiving at Monica's apartment. Chandler stared at the empty chair where Joey should have been, remembering how his friend had always made the holiday special with his enthusiasm for Monica's cooking and his heartfelt appreciation for their chosen family. When Joey's scripted holiday message arrived on Chandler's phone, clearly written by an assistant, something broke inside him. He finally admitted to the others how much he missed his best friend. The return. 3 days later, Joey stood in the hallway outside apartment 19, no entourage, no designer clothes, just Joey with a pizza box and a six-pack of beer. When Chandler opened the door, the practiced Hollywood smile fell from Joey's face, replaced by something more vulnerable and genuine. For a moment, they just looked at each other, the weight of missed time hanging between them. That night, Joey told Chandler everything. How empty success felt without his friends to share it, how the Hollywood machine had slowly changed him, and how he'd realized too late what he was losing. In Monica's apartment, the whole group reunited, falling back into their old rhythms despite the months apart. Joey listened more than he spoke, soaking in the familiar comfort of people who loved him before he became Joey Tribbiani movie star. The balance. Joey didn't abandon his career. Instead, he learned to balance his worlds. He bought a small apartment in New York to use between filming schedules and insisted on contract clauses that allowed him regular trips home. He brought Chandler to premieres not as a publicity stunt, but because he genuinely wanted his best friend there. Most importantly, he remembered how to be just Joey again, the guy who loved sandwiches, didn't share food, and valued his friends above all else. Chandler, too, found growth in the reconciliation. He supported Joey's success without resentment, proud of his friends' accomplishments while secure in their friendship. When Joey was filming on location, Chandler visited sets, providing the grounding presence Joey needed amidst the chaos of fame. In time, Central Perk again became Joey's refuge rather than a photo opportunity. He still signed autographs for fans, but he also spent hours in his favorite chair, listening to Phoebe's newest songs, debating with Ross, sharing gossip with Rachel, and appreciating Monica's cooking. And most nights, he and Chandler still found time for foosball, beer, and the easy friendship that had anchored them both through life's changes. Fame hadn't diminished Joey Tribbiani, it had simply expanded his world. And in that expanded world, he made sure there was always room for the 5 people who had believed in him long before the rest of the world discovered what they had always known, that Joey was truly special, both on screen and off.